Hello and welcome to live training as we get ready to resume our European campaign tomorrow night, where we will be facing Rangers at the Theatre of Dreams. Join me now as we get an exclusive look at this training session is Phil Bardsley. How are you doing?
Good morning, Zara. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. You're wrapped up for it, aren't you?
I am. I had a close call, obviously, a few games ago. I think it was Bournemouth at home. I didn't wrap up enough and I was frozen to the bone, so I've wrapped up this morning.
You learnt your lesson, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now we know how big this game is. How important is it for those to get those automatic places?
It certainly is. Obviously, we've had a mixed run in the competition, but obviously we find ourselves in a really good position. To be fair, I think 3 points will almost guarantee us that position in that automatic promotion and automatic place, I should say. That's ultimately what you want. You don't want, obviously, fixtures building up. You don't want, obviously, the playoff games. So it's important. Listen, we're in a good position. We've got 2 games to go. Hopefully, going into the game tomorrow night, we can see a good performance.
We have got some of the players that are walking out here now as well for this training session. A warm up before they get involved in the session now. Now, United's domestic form, it hasn't been great, but in huge comparison, we sit 7th in the Europa League and we're in those automatic places. So there's a lot of opportunity here for Manchester United, isn't there? Yeah,
certainly has. Like I say, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, our performances and results in this competition, but you know we found ourselves in leads in games and obviously through leads away, which is disappointing. But you know this is the stage now where things get serious. It's another competition we can obviously go on and win. You know we're sitting comfortable. Like you say, 2 games to go, 6 points to play for. You know it's up to us now to maximise them points and really guarantee that spot.
Now, if people back at home didn't know, you've actually played for both teams, haven't you?
I have, a long time ago.
Obviously, it was a short spell that was there at Rangers, but you scored a great long-range free kick versus Falkirk as well. I bet it was nice memories.
I did, yeah. It was, you know, I was very fortunate. Obviously, the manager, obviously Sir Alex Ferguson, had great relationships up there, which allowed me to go out on loan and experience first-team football. It's another huge football club. You probably don't realise how big it is till you get up there. And it was a pleasure to play up there. Short-lived, obviously didn't have a great relationship with the manager, but what a great experience for a young player to go up there and play football. Unfortunately, I got sent off the week before the Old Firm, which I missed out on that. But all in all, great experience, and I learnt a lot from it.
And as you've mentioned there, it's a huge team what you were part of, Rangers. They're a proud, passionate team, and there'll be lots of away fans at Old Trafford. So how would you describe their support?
Loyal, loud, travel in the numbers. They remind me of United in a lot of ways in terms of the following. You know, the following you have home and away in Europe. They have obviously huge following in Europe, and it's important for a club like Rangers and Manchester United to be in Europe. And I think that sort of like helps the fans book the trips throughout the year, and they can obviously enjoy a few away trips. And obviously, just looking at the lads there now coming to do the boxes, this is the part of training or football I miss, this early part of warming up here now. So, you know, it's important, obviously, you know, to get the limbs warm. Another big fixture on Thursday night.
It's a huge fixture here. It's quite a jovial part of the training session, this, and you can see that they get a lot of enjoyment, a lot of team chemistry is here.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it? We always found this, obviously, from the early days of me being at the club, coming out and doing a little bit of a possession box, getting yourself moving. You know, nothing too intense. It's just a bit of camaraderie and a bit of a loosener before the main part of the session begins.
We can now see Rasmus Højlund in the mix as well. Now, he's the leading goal scorer in this competition, so it must be a great feat for him to have that target for him this season.
Yeah, of course. I think his record in this competition is better than it is in the league. Obviously, I think he's found it probably a little bit easier, and the service to him has been a little bit better. But I think from his point of view, he'll be looking to continue with that form in this competition. You know, of the league goals that he's obviously managed to tally up at the minute are probably short of where he wants to be, but you know, another big opportunity this Thursday night against Rangers to add to that tally in Europe.
How great is it for a young player like Rasmus Højlund to have this confidence in this competition?
Yeah, it's important, and I've said it all along for a player of his age. Obviously, the start he had at United, coming to the club with obviously a back injury wasn't helpful. obviously went on a great run of scoring, and then unfortunately found himself injured again. But I think it's momentum with him and confidence. I think if he gets obviously a run of games and really finds his game, I think obviously it's probably been lack of service at times to him. To be fair to him, he's found himself up there and isolated. But as we say, his goal scoring record in this competition is decent.
It is, and we can have a little closer look at this training session now too, as we see the team getting ready to face Rangers tomorrow night. We can see Marcus Rashford in the mix with these players too. Great to have him back involved there. And you see a little laughter there between Harry Maguire and Rasmus Højlund too.
Yeah, this is the part of the session you enjoy. Obviously, you're shaking out, getting the cobwebs off. Obviously, I'd imagine they had a decent session yesterday, and today, obviously, more prep work for tactical side of the game. Physically, you can't really do much this stage of the season when there's that many games. Listen, the players look fit enough. They've proven that against, obviously, performances against Arsenal and Liverpool, that their output in games is there and they can do it. But yeah, it's important. Listen, it's important for the whole group. Make sure they're prepared, and I'm sure the manager's, got his session planned for today of what side he's going to select and what system he's going to go with, and personnel.
We can see the butcher there, Lisandro Martinez. He is a huge character, and he's spoke about how passionate he is, and you need that passion in nights against Rangers. That's it. We're dreams with how passionate those fans are, as you said. Yeah,
it's going to be hostile. Listen, it's a great fixture. I don't think we've played each other competitively for, I think it was a Champions League maybe 14, 15 years ago. Am I right in that? Against Rangers, yeah, I'm right. So listen, it'll be like I said before, they're going to bring a decent amount of fans. It's going to be a great atmosphere at Old Trafford, and these players, I'm sure, will be up for it, because these are the sort of competitions as a player you want to play in. Obviously, there's no better feeling from a player than playing at Old Trafford under the lights in a European fixture. There's just nothing better than that. So listen, hopefully the lads, I'm sure they will be. They'll be prepared. And like you say, Rangers are a decent outfit. They sit a place below us in the standings at the minute. So it's important for us to obviously get another 3 points and try and get a little touch there from me and try and guarantee that automatic promotion.
We can see Harry Maguire there now too. I mean, he has been quite important in that back line. He's been very vocal, and to have that vocal, especially when we have been struggling in our domestic form as well, it's important that we continue that in the Europa League. Yeah,
it's important for players with great experience like Harry. He's gone through obviously difficult spells since he's been at the club, but he's shown what sort of personality he's got and what sort of character he is, the way he's performing at the minute. I think we look a far better side when he plays in the team. And obviously the confidence has seeped back into his game. I think the player was always there. I think obviously going through tough spells as a player, it's how you bounce back in your character, and he's certainly shown that. And listen, when we play well, he's a big part of the performance. See, when we used to do this, it was older box, younger box.
How did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was good because obviously it was me, Fletch, and obviously the younger players at the time. It felt like we needed to earn the right to get into that box at the time, but obviously now it's just a mix of players. But no, it's great. Listen, we've got a good group here. They look like there's a togetherness within the group, and it's about showing that under the lights.
We're having a little close look now at Ahmad, who signed his new contract just a couple of weeks ago. He is in great form at the moment. And as we've mentioned, Rasmus Højlund is leading goal scorer, but do you reckon that Ahmad will be eyeing that up now?
Yeah, certainly will be. He's probably not set any targets personally to be a top goal scorer, but I think just credit to him and credit the way he's applied himself this season. He's been He's been nothing short of sensational, and you can just see the way he enjoys his football, plays with a smile on his face, but plays with that devilish mentality where he loves winning. I think his performances have proven that, and his goal record's proven that as well this season. He's been a big part of everything we've done well.
Captain Bruno Fernandes there. We spoke about the amount of passion that's needed tomorrow night when we face Rangers, and he is a leader. He wants to help every single part of that pitch. How vital is he to be involved tomorrow night?
Yeah, as I just spoke about there, Ahmad and Harry, I think Bruno as well, obviously being captain, I think he's pivotal for the team's performance when he plays well. I think the team tend to play well. He's normally involved in the thicker stuff, obviously creating and scoring goals. Listen, he's a big personality. One thing you won't get with Bruno, he will never shy away from a challenge. Obviously, you're talking about playing with bravery and courage when you play for Manchester United. That's not necessarily running around kicking people and smashing into people. Yeah, there's an element of that, but it's being brave in areas where you'll go and receive the ball and make things happen in tight areas. And he's a player that does that. Like I say, he'll never shy away from going to receive the ball and trying difficult passes. But listen, I'd rather someone in my team try and create a goal by forcing passes and try to create something than somebody try to play safe too often, because playing that way you're never going to create or score chances. And like I say, if with Bruno, when he plays well, the team tend to win, and team tend to play a lot better than what they do as well. So, listen, he's key to the team and key to the squad. I imagine he's a great character in a dressing room.
Now, it is a tricky comparison when you look at our domestic form, but the Reds have done so well in the Europa League when you think about it. They're just one of 5 sides that are still unbeaten in this year's competition. So we've been defensively stronger as well, would you say? How important is it for us to keep that defensive form?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think, obviously, in the competition, I think it's something you certainly have to do when you, especially when you're playing away in Europe. You have to make sure you're defensively strong. Obviously, you don't want to give the opposition early access to get a foothold in the game. But I think overall, like I said before, I think it's been a mixed bag. A few draws, obviously a few wins. But overall, we're in a very, very good position with 2 games remaining. Listen, at home to Rangers and then away against Steaua Bucharest, which won't be happy in Rome. Won't be easy in Romania, I should say. So, listen, 2 great games to look forward to and a chance to progress in the Europa League.
Ruben Amorim has been very vocal about the need for us to have less matches, more time on the training pitch. He said it's really important we take those 2 games from our schedule to find time to work. So those automatic places are not just a need, it's a must.
No, it is, especially this time of year, coming off the back of obviously the hectic schedule of obviously December and January. It's never easy, especially players that have not experienced the volume of games that come in them winter months. So obviously another competition now added back into the mix in terms of the Europa League. Now to get through automatically is what we want to do, want to achieve, and obviously with that you don't get the playoff game, which is a bonus. And obviously from the manager's point of view, he'll be looking at it to obviously add stuff. He's obviously not had time on the training pitch to implement certain things, and I imagine he's got a few things across where obviously he demands from the players. But I'd imagine with the extra couple of weeks that he might get with them games, there's certainly things they can work on.
There's some great news here from this live training session as we see Victor Lindelof back in training. It's a great other option for Ruben to have, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. You can never have enough players, and I think that brings the best out of players as well. The competition side of obviously having a healthy squad, it's great for the manager. It gives him a headache a manager would want to have. But I say competition for places, it brings the best out of players. I always felt as a player when I had competition and there were other people fighting for my position, it brought the best out of me. And listen, Victor's been here a long time. He understands the club, and I imagine from him as well. He wants to play more football. But listen, it's down to him to also stamp his claim in the team and try and stay as fit as he can.
It seems that there's a great atmosphere in this training.
Yeah, it does. This is
so
the part
far
of training. Obviously, the manager will let flow. There's a nice flow to it. Obviously, the lads are getting plenty of touch of the ball. Obviously, a little possession game with the two in the middle get punished. So I think they need to close the ball down a little bit quicker than what they're doing if they want to get out of the middle. But yeah, it's always a good part of the session. This bit, just like I said before, it gets you moving. There's a bit of camaraderie amongst the group until the serious stuff starts and the tactical. And obviously, the manager will, as I say, he's just letting this flow at the minute, which brings a nice feeling to the group going into hopefully what's a nice sharp session.
How much does this part of the session set the tone for the rest of it?
Yeah, it certainly does. But from a player's point of view, these are the days that you've got to enjoy. You've got a huge game tomorrow night to look forward to, and obviously the day before any big game, you always enjoy the training sessions. It's never the longest of sessions. It's always pretty short and sharp with bits of detail, tactical detail for the game. But yeah, it's a session where the lads obviously can come out. Like I said it's probably a shorter session than they probably do throughout the week, but it obviously gives them a chance to get inside after and recover right with the ice baths and the cryo chambers and the massages in preparation for tomorrow night's huge fixture. I've been impressed with Collier this year, I must admit. Obviously, every time I've seen him play, I've been impressed with him. He's got a good size to him. His attitude looks impeccable. I think he's got a bright future at the club, and obviously I'm sure. Obviously we've seen him over the last couple of games making a few appearances. I think the manager's got huge trust in him.
How strong does it show that Toby Collier's mentality is, the fact that this season he's come back from injury and then stepped up to this first team straight away?
Yeah, absolutely, and you know that's one of the key qualities that you need as a Man United player. It's obviously the character that you show in adversity when you're going through difficult moments, injuries, lack of form. But he's certainly shown that. Obviously, he's a young player with an old head on his shoulders, and we spoke about courage. He's certainly got the courage to play for Man United, and hopefully he keeps learning, he keeps progressing. I'm sure under the manager he's getting the right guidance. So he's certainly a player that I'm looking forward to seeing more of in a red shirt.
Well, it looks like that is all the time that we have for our live training session here. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you tune in